All right, little DeSoto update. The front fell off. So we got everything apart. It's actually pretty solid. There's no real rot anywhere. Doesn't really look like we're gonna have too much trouble making something pretty nice out of this. The front end's not too bad. This panel's got a few little holes in it, but we'll get it straightened out pretty easily. Now that we have the front off and it's outside thinking about what it did, if anything, we've got the car inside where it's air conditioned and we can work on it. This is probably the first time this car's been indoors in the better part of half a century. So we're getting to the job of cleaning it up and unsticking everything. Underneath, it actually looks pretty solid. There's a few little rusties in the rocker panel, just kind of to be expected for a car that's been sitting on the ground, but all in all, it's pretty solid. Oh, there's a big old wasp nest. But the frame's in great shape. It's not too many holes in the rocker, but it's definitely a couple. And there's another one. But all in all, the floors aren't too bad. Drive shaft looks good. This transmission also has a trans brake on it, which is interesting. But all in all, a pretty solid car. We haven't actually drained the oil yet. That's going to be the real fun part, is finding what kind of terrible things are down there that we didn't put there. But it looks pretty darn solid under here. A little rusty, but solid. Now, we've been lucky enough that now that we've gotten some stuff apart, the engine turns over quite nicely. Everything spins nice and smooth. No tight spots, no hard spots. Looks pretty darn good. However, there's that fun word. We also discovered something pretty terrible. When we were yanking on that crank bolt to try to get it to turn over, which it does now with relative ease, that pop and little bit of movement we got was a big problem. That is the end of the camshaft. And this is what remains. The timing gears. It's a cast iron gear. It actually shattered the gear, the end of the cam, and the little adapter to attach the gear wheel. The chain is fine. No damage to the chain. I guess a testament to how well these chains were made, but the gear definitely did not fare well. Now, the question was asked, why am I sure that when we were messing with this that I broke this when I was trying to turn the engine over? And the reason I'm sure that I broke this and it didn't just break is inside this timing cover, there's only a few scratches in the bottom and you really can't see, any major wear from it. And the other part of that is, if this gear had shattered when the engine was running, this gear and all its little pieces would be nothing but confetti in the bottom of a timing cover. There'd be just little bits and pieces because that chain would have just chewed it to absolute microscopic particles. It definitely failed because we tried to force it, but at the same time, that frozen camshaft was not going to move. We still have to figure out how to extract it from the engine because it is really stuck in there, and that's going to be fun for a later date. But right now we just get to try to figure out where we can source another one, because this engine was only made for a couple of years and they seem to be fairly scarce.